Hello. Good morning. Hello. Welcome once again to Dork Duck Daily, the daily show with all the newsy nerd. Another Trimmins. Take a day off, she said. We should start taking Wednesdays off.
Yeah.
So it makes sense with our other show. And it'll work. And we can take this Wednesdays off for this show. And everybody died.
You can't put that on me.
Everybody
That's kind of messed up. Jeff.
Died. It's just a weird. It's gonna be a shit. We're gonna talk about it, and then I made sure to find a fun cat story to try to balance out all the death.
Hey, yo,
But dear Lord,
hey, yo, pancake.
Melissa's nice outfit. She's a bear.
Mm-hmm.
That's Selena. I've just been referring to her as Bear all morning.
Yes.
Like you do. But yeah, it's a weird day with lots of celebrity deaths. And then we also like made, I thought, a pretty good video, as far as the morning videos go. Our new comic day videos go. I thought it was a pretty solid one.
Mm-hmm.
What? You okay?
Yeah.
Did you not like that book there? You did. Okay. I was just putting them out so people could see them.
Why?
I thought
They're mine.
yeah, we're not selling them. I was just like putting them out because they look cool.
They're mine.
I know they're yours. That's why I put your stuff out, because it looks cool, and I thought you would. Now there's just like a desk with like a coffee stain on it that people are seeing. And a package of nerds. And one bunny.
There. Oh, the coffee stain's gone.
But yeah, we had I thought a decent video.
Look, Pancake's up here now.
That we put out, but it like that generated for me trying to, for about 12 hours, explain to you all the drama that was going on with Boy Meets World stuff, which I didn't realize how much beforehand.
Yeah.
Drew says it's a nice desk. I'm all about coffee stains and nerds. Target audience equals me plus cat.
Yeah,
now.
now Pancake can sit on the desk. He's a happy girl.
And I kept trying to explain to you the Boy Meets World drama, and you kept trying to like very nicely tell me you didn't care, which I kept taking as you not quite understanding the drama. And so I tried to explain it then further, and then that was like, oh, this is really funny. Let's turn that into a video. And I thought we made a pretty good video out of it. It works really well. And then this one comment I got was a guy being like to save some people some time, because like it was the honest conversation where I was like, the girl from Boy Meets World who does porn, and then you started running through the options as someone who doesn't really know that show but knows of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you would never land on like, oh, the girl they add the last 2 seasons that I never watched enough of the show to get there or realize who that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we did it as a joke to open the video. And the one comment on the video is just that would be, save y'all some time. It's a really hot redhead girl. Like, almost like it was, like, a bot that, like, worked for her or something. Like, it was the weirdest, like, thing of, like, are you a real person? Like, what is this? It was a joke. That was the joke, is that you didn't know or understand, and that I did.
Yeah.
Which was the reality of our situation, that we played up a little bit for humor.
I was grumpy in the morning, so I was just like, that's a bit,
cheeky.
friend. And that's where I left it at, because I was gonna let it go, and then I was like, you know what? No. Don't come onto my whimsical video.
It was pretty whimsical.
It was.
With you just refusing to leave the floor.
Yeah. Don't come onto my whimsical video with your logic. And
that's why we can't do this show on Wednesdays anymore, so that Selena can do videos where she refuses to leave the floor.
It's content, Jeff.
Morning, Sam. Good morning, Shiki.
Hello.
Special announcement. Hear ye, hear ye.
What?
Hear ye, hear ye. Here is the plan for next week. Next week on Tuesday, it is the combination of two things happening next week's Tuesday. It is Delilah the Dork Duck is turning 1. And Selena the Human is turning more than, well, I don't even know.
You don't know how old I am? What the hell, Jeff?
29?
Yes.
29. Oh, 29. We have to watch that episode. 29?
Okay. I'm down. That's fine.
Drew says, oh shit, it's Pokemon announcement day. Jeff fumbling the birthday.
As long as he remembers what day it is, I'm fine with that. I don't
remember how old I am.
I honestly forget how old you are sometimes too. Like my sister asked how old you were and I was like, I think 37, but I don't know.
I think that's it.
Yeah, you are 37.
Okay.
Yes, I'm turning 29. The people at the elementary school drop-off disagree. They tried to take me out of the car this morning.
Again.
I've lost count at this point.
To be fair, you were a bear.
Yes. However, it has happened without the bear hood on. And this time it was extra funny because I was so tired and my brain was lagging that the man opened the door and I sat there.
There's a good 3 or 4 Mississippi before anybody said anything.
We just stood there with the door open. I think he just didn't realize at first too. And then I looked up and I was like, oh, it's not me. Not me. And he's like, oh, sorry. And then he shut the door and opened the back door so our child could get out. Our 5th grader? Is she a 5th grader? Yeah. Okay, sorry. I forgot what grade our kid's in. 5th grader could get out of the car. So, blending in with a bunch of 5th graders.
Sam says, oh shit, it's a year. Yeah, it's been a year. So here's the plan. Monday, we'll do a morning show regularly. We won't do a Final Fantasy stream that day. Because with that being a day the shop doesn't have to be open. That's the day we'll take to go on like birthday adventures. Lena very much wants to go run to like Barnes and Noble, and have you landed on are we doing the ramen place?
I don't know yet. I have not landed on.
She's still deciding on her birthday.
But I promise you by the end of today I will decide so that we can figure it all out. It's just hard for me to make a decision on where I want to eat.
So
there's so many options.
But yeah, so on Monday, I won't be Final Fantasy streaming because we'll be off doing fun birthday shenanigans. And then Tuesday, which is actually Dork Duck and Selena's birthday, we'll do a morning show, and then we'll do a Tuesday night stream. It's like a big celebratory birthday anniversary fun bonanza thing. It'll probably just be like 8 to midnight. Is that what we landed on? Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Barnes and Noble, party animals. That's us. Yep.
I wanted to go to a club, and then I was like, I'm joking with myself because I won't make it that late in the night. And alcohol hurts my tummy now, so. Yeah.
I thought all of those things. I said none of those things out loud. I was good.
I think if. This isn't me being like, how dare you? I think if you were a little more of a like party person.
Yeah.
I would probably. It's like there is some level of me that's like Jeff's not going to have a good time if we go to Necto or something. So
I'm prepping for like you to have I'm in my 30s. I need to go out all the time to prove I'm still young phase. Like I'm prepping for that. I'm hanging on to all the last little bits of like possible go out enthusiasm I have left. I am squirreling away for when you go through that time period all of us go through in our early 30s, which like I'm not old, I'm young. I'm 30s are basically
I don't think I'll have that.
You 100% will, because I've never yet met a human who hasn't.
I think I had
that.
mine early.
And
now I'm just accepting getting old.
Professor Pixelbix. Good morning, Professor Pixelbix. That's really hard to say.
Wow, that was you fumbled that.
I struggled. Good morning. Who says hangovers don't feel as good past 28? No, they do not. They really don't.
The last time we went to Necto, I think it was Necto. Maybe was it Necto? I don't know. Somewhere I drank, and I woke up the next day and I was like, I didn't even drink that much. I drank like very little, and it truly mind boggles me that I used to like have like 7 Long Islands and be like dancing my butt off and just having a great time and not feeling it at all. And then like I had a tummy ache after the second one and I was like, I should slow down. And then the next morning I felt like I drank 7 Long Islands and I had like 2.
Yeah, like 1.5. Professor Pixelbit says, damn, second person to fumble the name badly in a 24-hour set. I'm so sorry.
I wouldn't take it personally. Jeff fumbles words.
I do. Cats are up to some shit this morning.
What is happening out there? I'm gonna just gently I'm stuck underneath this hood. I'll be right back. I'm gonna make sure they're all okay.
She says cats fumble some stuff too.
Kitties, what are you guys doing?
The birds are really loud outside.
Gosh.
They knocked over a chair? How'd they knock over our dining room chair? Okay. But yeah, so Tuesday night, we will do a celebratory 8 to midnight stream. The rest of the week should go as planned next week. But we'll be doing we're gonna be trying not doing this morning show on Wednesdays for a while, which is something Selena's been asking for a long time. So since Wednesday mornings are so crazy with the comic shop opens like 2 hours early, and it's
I think he was also involved somehow because he was on one of the benches. Are you okay?
Who says our cats knock over chairs occasionally? It's just part of the cat vibe. Can't have cats and expect them not to be goblins. That's for damn sure. We have news articles today. A lot of people died. I promise I went out and found a fun cat story to try to balance it out. But then I woke up then to more people having died. So like I'm doing my best. Here with our news, but here is the Daily Quack with all the news you nerd.
Oh. Hello, little birdies. Yeah. Oh, those are some pretty birdies.
He's like
looking at the squirrel. There's a big fat squirrel like right there.
Oh wow. That's funny. He's slow blinking at it then.
Oh, do you love the squirrel?
All right. I've got 3 death stories to get to and get through so that we can get past them. And then Selena said there was a 4th because she said the cat from It's Always Sunny died as well. I don't watch It's Always Sunny.
I just seen it on a news article today.
That's what I'm saying. You were like, let's skip Wednesdays. It'll be fine. The whole world's going to crap. Here says Daily Quack, burbs and squirrels.
The squirrel. That's your friend?
Tiki says good. You guys need a stream-free morning throughout the week. I think.
Oh my god! There's like 3 cardinals outside. The red ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Bug. Look at the red birdies. There's another. Oh my god, there's like 5. Never seen so many in one place before.
Michelle Trachtenberg, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Harriet the Spy Star, dies at 39. This article is from Mark Kennedy at Associated Press. Drew said, listen, people would have died even if you streamed yesterday. Take y'all's day off. It's true. Michelle Trachtenberg, former child star who appeared in the 1996 Harriet the Spy hit movie and went on to co-star in 2 buzzy millennial-era TV shows, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Gossip Girl, has died. She was 39. Police responded to a 911 call shortly after 8 a.m. at a 51-story luxury apartment tower in Manhattan's Hell's Kitchen neighborhood, where officers found Trachtenberg unconscious and unresponsive. Paramedics pronounced her dead at the scene. No foul play was suspected, and the New York Medical Examiner is investigating the cause of death, police said. The family requests privacy for their loss. Trachtenberg's representative, Gary Mantouche, in a statement Wednesday, Trachtenberg was 8 when she began playing Nona Mecklenburg on Nickelodeon's The Adventures of Pete and Pete from 94 to 96, then starred in the title role in the film adaptations of Harriet the Spy and Inspector Gadget opposite Matthew Broderick. Michelle comes off as a genuine because she really is a genuine kid. Everyone can identify with her, said Debbie Breese, president of Nickelodeon Movies in 1996. In 2000, Trachtenberg joined the cast of Buffy, playing Dawn Summers, the younger sister, the title character played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, between 2000 and 2003. Trachtenberg thanked Gellar for speaking out against Joss Whedon in 2021 following abuse allegations made against the Buffy showrunner. I'm brave enough now as a 35-year-old woman to repost this, she said on social media, and alluded to his not appropriate behavior she experienced as a teenage actor. In 2001, she received a Daytime Emmy nomination for hosting Discovery's Truth or Scare. Trachtenberg went on to recurring roles on 6 Feet Under, Weeds, and Gossip Girl, where she played the game's scheming nemesis, Georgina Sparks. For her fan-favorite role, she was nominated as a TV villain at the Teen Choice Award in 2012. It's definitely a lot more fun than playing the good girl, she told 17 in 2009. I love the reaction you get. I never understood why some actors don't want to play villains or evil characters. She was one of the original series stars to return for a pair of guest appearances in the 2021 Gossip Girl revival. Blake Lively on Instagram Tuesday honored her Gossip Girl co-star. The world lost a deeply sensitive and good person in Michelle. May her work and her huge heart be remembered by those who were lucky enough to experience her fire. I woke up this morning and the first thing I saw on TikTok was that scene from Buffy of like Buffy holding Dawn and telling her like, can't wait to see the woman you grow up into, and like, and then it was rough, man. I fucking love Ice Princess. Also, like, here's the thing: Ice Princess has always been a pretty slept-on movie. It's a silly movie. It's one of those like, she's a nerd and she's really into physics, and that actually makes her like a really good ice skater. But it's like her and Hayden Panettiere, or however you say her name, and that movie rules. High recommend Ice Princess. It's this is brutal, man.
What?
Roberto Orci, or Orci. I've never known. I think it's Orci. I've never known quite how to say his name. Star Trek and Transformers writer-producer dies at 51. Roberto Orci, the writer producer behind the late 2000s reboots of Star Trek and Transformers, and creator of Fringe. Fringe fucking rules. If anyone's not watched Fringe, that show was great. He died Tuesday in his Los Angeles home from kidney disease. He was 51. With partner Alex Kurtzman, Orci co-wrote projects including 2007's Transformers and 2009's Star Trek. Orci's other credits include producing work on the Now You See Me franchise, Ender's Game, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, as well as writing credits on Mission Impossible 3. On the TV side, Orci and Kurtzman developed the 2010 reboot of Hawaii Five-0, which ran for over 200 episodes. He also created Sleepy Hollow and Fringe for Fox. Nick says Fringe ruled for 2 seasons. Fringe was great when it was episodic. Once they moved on to big plots that went on for seasons, it wasn't nearly as good. I agree on that. Shiki said, oh damn, he created Fringe. I love that show. Me too. Born in Mexico, Orci attended Crossroads School in Los Angeles, where he met fellow movie lover Kurtzman. They would go on to partner on numerous projects, starting with writing scripts for Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, and became showrunners at the age of 24. They went on to write for J.J. Abrams' Alias, and then create the Fox sci-fi series Fringe, which ran for 5 seasons. In 2014, the duo announced they would no longer work together on film projects, and Orci went on to create Matador for the El Rey network. In August 2024, Orci was accused in a lawsuit of gross stuff.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Giyu Riahi has rated us.
Hey, thank you
Hello.
so much for the raid, Giyu. Also, good morning.
Thank you.
Yes.
Did you
thanks.
forget who we are and what to say? You were like,
I did glitch a little bit there. Was watching the Pokemon Direct. Oh, awesome. Let us know if there are any new stuff there. Yeah, tell us all about your stream. If you don't know who we are Dork Duck. My name's Jeff. That's Lena. We do it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday news show.
Oh my God! Stop with your shade.
And it's yeah. We do that. We do nighttime streams. If you don't know Giyu, Giyu's an awesome person and snake lover. So go give Giyu a follow. He said it's gonna be okay, Jeff. Really, LMAO.
It's not. He's unraveling as a person. Because I asked for a morning off.
I was all day yesterday too. Don't worry. Giyu says the ZA game was super cute. It's in the future and it's about reclaiming and making the city good for animals and humans. I like that a lot.
That does sound good.
Giyu says also I was one of the only one who guessed the starters. Awesome. Hello, German. Welcome in. Okay. Welcome in. We're talking about death. We have one more death to get through, and then we can get to non-death news stories. I'm so sorry, Raiders. We have one more, and then we can move on with things that aren't death. Okay. Professor Pixelbit says, "Hey, we need routines, man, especially us with ADHD."
Oh, I relate hard, but like, there's also like too much routine. Maybe not too much routine, but like
Selena's still in that mode of ADHD, where you still pretend no routine is like where you thrive. You're like,
No.
I just need to be able to go.
I'm not pretending. I'm not like I don't wanna go. Whatever that was weird little movement you just made.
That was all of my 20s of just like be like, oh, I don't have to appear at
No.
places, and people would be like, oh, so you don't want to have any
No,
accountability
no,
or
no, no,
responsibility?
no.
Like, no, yeah, I just need to.
No.
And then you do that for a while, and then you watch yourself entirely unravel. And then I had to, though, take it to that extreme. I had to, like, completely go the other direction. And
I think it's less that, and I know what I can handle and what I can't handle, and like it's difficult because the routine that we have is Wednesdays. We open early. We open our comic store open at like 10. Is it 10?
yeah.
Yeah. And Drew said I wandered off to start my toaster strudel. Why is Jeff acting like a bendy man? Because he's mocking me and my lack of ability to stick to a routine, and I'm trying to defend that I can stick to a routine. It's just that like when that routine so closely like coincides with another like responsibility that I have, it's really difficult for me because then like we'll be sitting here on the morning show and it'll be like 9:45 and Jeff will still be talking and I'll be like, we have to go to the comic store. It's almost 10 o'clock. We have to go. We have to go. Like, and I'm like hyperventilating internally, probably, maybe outernally, but, so, and I don't want to be late to that thing because it's opening the comic store and my brain is like, that's important too. So
yeah, Professor Pixelbit says appointment anxiety in a nutshell, and Shiki says I think it's different for everyone, and just because you got to a point where you will muscle through and do everything despite your energy levels doesn't mean that's how it works for Lena. You are two different people. That, yes, 99.9% of our arguments and disagreements boil down to the fact that Jeff has trouble realizing that not everybody is Jeff.
true.
Everyone around Jeff is pretty good at understanding that Jeff is different. Jeff is not good at understanding that people aren't Jeff.
That's okay. It is rough because it's like we do enter similarities very like we have a lot of similarities, but where we differ is very like is very, I'm trying to think of a word that isn't different because that seems to cancel out the other word. So
G says also, I'm sorry, everyone. Leon the Lobster died. I'm adding a death. Who is Leon the Lobster? Tell us. But that
Leon the Lobster?
That would mean Leon the Lobster, the cat from It's Always Sunny.
Didn't a crab pass away this week too, or was that last week? Everyone was very upset about a crab passing away.
I don't know.
It was a blue crab.
Drew says, yeah, listen, as a probable ADHDer, strict routines simply do not work long term. No number of alarms, reminders, etc. help. G says, my ADHD doesn't work if I'm on a routine. I have real bad actual diagnosed OCD too, and a routine can set that off bad. Maybe that's it, because maybe it's that combo? I don't know. Because I definitely don't have OCD. Drew says, I think the crab was last week. Okay, so the crab wasn't our fault.
None of it was our fault. Get out of here. Pete, what do you have hanging from your mouth right now, dude? He looks like he's got dust or something stuck to him. Sometimes they go in our basement and then they come up and there's just stuff on them and I'm like, where were you? Were you adventuring?
Pixelbit says, if I go off my normal style routine, I use the spoons method. Drew says, but time stopped being real in 2020, so who fucking knows? Indeed. Shiki says, yeah, I generally adhere to spoons. G says, also, actual OCD is like obsessive behaviors, not stuff being satisfying. It's the most stereotyped, falsely yes. We talk about that a lot. That how, like, just things like Monk, other, like, stuff, like, completely ruin people's, like, conception for... and, like, Monk's a good show, you know, but it's just, like, people... idea of what OCD is not not accurate. All right. She says, yeah, I love Monk as a show back when it came out, but holy hell, is it such a horrible stereotype? Yeah. Actor Gene Hackman and wife found dead alongside dog at home. This we're reading right now from Reuters. I'm trying to see who wrote the article, but I'm not finding it. Apologies to whoever wrote this. Gene Hackman, the intense character actor who won 2 Oscars in a more than 60-year career, has died alongside his wife, pianist Betsy Arakawa, and their dog at home.
Did they figure out if it was carbon monoxide or something like that?
I mean, the first thing they said this morning is that there was no foul play. So I'm
It's
guessing
likely that then,
it's
if
like
it was all
gas.
3 of them.
Yeah.
That
It's some sort of
sucks.
gas thing.
That's really awful.
It does. Statement from the sheriff said deputies found the 95-year-old actor in Arakawa, 64, deceased on Wednesday afternoon around 1:45 p.m. Christopher Reeves did it. I just don't think that. Foul play is not suspected as a factor in those deaths at this time. However, the exact cause of death has not been determined. This is an active and ongoing investigation by the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office. It said, Hackman, a former Marine known for his raspy voice, appeared in more than 80 films, as well as on television and on stage during a lengthy career that started in the early 1960s. He earned his first Oscar nomination for his breakout role as the brother of bank robber Clyde Barrow in 1967's Bonnie and Clyde. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in 1971 for I Never Sang My Father. It was his turn as Popeye Doyle, the rumpled New York detective chasing international drug dealers in director William Friedkin's thriller The French Connection, that assured his stardom and as a Best Actor Academy Award. He also won Best Supporting Actor Oscar in 1993 as a mean sheriff in the Clint Eastwood Western Unforgiven, and was nominated for Academy Award in his turn as an FBI agent in the 1988 historical drama Mississippi Burning. Hackman could come across the screen as menacing or friendly, working with a face that he described to the New York Times in 1989 as that of your everyday mine worker. He's one of the best to ever do it. Like, hands down. Just incredible. Characters sometimes were violent and ranged from small-town basketball coach in the 1986 sports film Hoosiers. It's one of the best movies ever made, to Superman's arch-rival Lex Luthor.
Sorry. I dropped my cap.
Acting honors apparently did not mean much to Hackman. In 2011, he told Time magazine he was unsure where his Oscars were.
Oh, wow. You can really tell that shelf is... Sorry, I got distracted by that shelf. You can tell in the other shot that shelf is like...
I told you.
Vaguely sideways. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you, Jeff. It was like that when I had it set up in my apartment too.
Oh, okay.
It's just because I was really bad at like screwing things together and building a shelf. Because I'm pretty sure I built that shelf. Perhaps.
Drew said strudel time. I've not had a toaster strudel in a long time. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could really fucking go for it. We've lived without a toaster for like a couple of months because I've lived in this house for 10 years. And so because I've been here for 10 years, like, a lot of like things are starting to happen. Like, the toaster I moved in with finally died, and I didn't have money for a toaster at first. So like we were like oven toasting things.
Drew says get an air fryer with the toaster strudel, but the toaster strudel in an air fryer.
That does sound good.
Oh my god. Can we go get toaster strudels after this?
Maybe I need to get chili going after this so that it's ready before our stream tonight.
We're having chili?
Yeah. That's the plan.
Excited. I love chili. And it's wild because I used to hate chili, but Jeff like made chili better than the chili that I've had before. Don't tell my grandma.
It's happened with a lot of dishes. Don't tell her, Grandma.
I love my... She's so sweet. She made me a whole ass plate of deviled eggs on my sister's birthday because she knows I like deviled eggs, and she knows that like maybe I wouldn't eat anything else unless like everyone else had like a hot dog and chips and stuff, and I just sat there with my plate of deviled eggs. And she's wonderful. She just also, maybe it's like a seasoning thing or like I don't know, but she just doesn't cook the way that Jeff does, and I don't know.
Mela says, I read it was foul play. Everything I've seen have said the opposite, but yeah, I would be interested to know if that has changed. But this article says there's no foul play. Shiki says, explaining spoons. Spoons are a measure for social/physical energy. You say you start with 10 spoons, and then calling your doctor takes a spoon, going to the DMV takes 2, etc., etc. It's personal measurement of your ability to do things through the day. Yeah, and it's an acceptance that at some point you run out of them, and that's okay. Which I think is like the biggest thing that a lot of us mess up is that we instead of going like, hey, look at the 10 things we got done today, we look at the 20 we didn't and get really frustrated with ourselves.
Yes. Agreed.
She says also in a wholesome news, I cuddled with Sweet Pea. Aw. Yeah.
Snake cuddles.
We like snakes. Yeah, you can also post that, and we have like a whole section in the Discord. You can just post pictures and videos of your pets if you want. Feel free.
There's lots of cats.
It's mostly cats, yeah. Drew said, I haven't used a toaster for anything in months. Me either, until today. Well, I just got one, and I was very excited. I was like, I don't know if I wanted to make a bagel or toast. And Selena was like, do both.
Yeah, you can make one bagel, one half of a bagel, and one thing of toast.
I didn't do that, but...
Oh, well.
Mel says, okay, check new site. Yeah, not foul play. Yeah, it's just one of those shitty, sad accident things that happen. And yeah, get yourself carbon monoxide detector. It also shows that, like, you could be rich as fuck and this kind of bullshit can still happen. So, like, because Lord knows that Gene Hackman had money. So get a carbon monoxide.
Did he not have a carbon monoxide alarm?
I'm guessing not. They'll probably.
We have 3, and you made fun of me because I was like, we need to get one, and you're like, it's fine, and I'm like, it's not. I have a fear of that, and a fear of like, I just have a lot of fears in general, and like last night we smelled something vaguely burning. Kind of, sort of.
In the middle of the live comic
and
sale.
I was like, stop everything! Something's burning! And we had to like go out and check if like one of our kids was cooking because it's like sometimes they just leave something on the stove or like there'll be like a piece of food that gets stuck in the burner or whatever. Like, but no, they weren't cooking, and we're assuming it was something on top of the computer. But I like laid there for like 20 minutes last night and was just like, what if it wasn't?
She says, who wants to tell Lena that there's air fryers and toaster ovens combined?
I know there's toaster ovens. They're like not toasters, but toaster ovens, like the little ovens.
Yeah, but there's like
I had one
air fryer combined with those. Apparently,
we need one.
Drew said that's what I use at work. I cook full ass meals for lunches now, and it's glorious. Sounds like a good time. Nick says maybe it was a gas leak or something because the dog was yeah, it seems like a gas leak. Shiki said about your grandma, it could also be Depression era cooking being passed down to her, which that could be of like
that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, definitely, because like it's not even that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like bad. It's just not like. Your stuff is more like loaded with things and like there's more flavor, if that makes sense. That doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means like you made me corn the other day.
Yeah.
And like I don't like corn by itself. I like it on the cob, but I don't like corn, just like canned corn. And I figured out because my grandma was putting canned corn in a pot and just warming it up. And that's fine too, because that might be good too. But for me, it just wasn't. It just tasted too bland.
You butter and salt.
And Jeff fucking slaps like a whole ass big old ball of butter on top of it and a bunch of salt, and that made it like so good. I was like, oh my god, I actually like corn. This is really weird.
But it's also not good. I still like. I've hung out with not white people. Like, I don't know how to cook either. like, here's the thing. It's like I still season like a white person. Like there's levels. It's crazy to me that like anyone would taste my food and be like, oh my god. Pixel says I got 15 different animals. That's awesome. Send
That's
pics
so
of all.
many
Yeah, Drew
animals.
says send pics of all of them. Yes, please do. Drew says we have carbon monoxide alarms. None of them have batteries, but we have them.
That was the situation when I moved in here. It was like there was alarms. They just were dead. And I was like, we need to get batteries for those.
Shiki said I accidentally stole the CO2 detector when I left my apartment and moved in with my ex. Yeah, thief. I thought you were saying that when you left your ex's apartment, and then I was going to laugh a little more at that because I know we don't like him, so that would be fine. like, and I took your carbon monoxide detector. G said I also have carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide detectors all over my house due to my snakes. That makes sense. Drew says I'm a critter enjoyer, so they will be appreciated if you do. Nick says I could eat corn all day, every day. Cob corn, cream corn, corn kernels. Love me some corn. The vegetable that never says goodbye. Only see you later. That's true. Yeah, I used to add corn to a lot of dishes too that I don't now. And might try my Depression era grandparents did a lot of like corn fritters, which is like pancakes with corn in them. And which makes sense to like, they're dirt cheap and you could make them, and you know, I guess that's what my grandpa used to bring to lunch every day when he used to work the fields and stuff.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If you tried to give me a pancake with corn in it, I would start violently sobbing. I'm sorry. Like I understand.
I never liked them. I
understand.
Thought they were gross.
Yeah, but they probably made you eat them, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. It's so interesting because my grandparents, like Shiki pointed out, could have been like that era being passed down. But my grandma was much more like, oh, you don't have to eat that if you don't want to. But she definitely like had that, like, where her and my grandpa were eating that and they weren't making anything else. But like,
now I had a lot of like, you don't realize how lucky you are to have food. And when I was a kid, we didn't get to, you know, sometimes we didn't have food. So like, you're going to eat whatever's in front of you. Shiki says I like making corn with salt, pepper, chili powder, and dill.
That sounds good.
That does sound good. And it's probably way better for you than
just a giant ice cream scoop of butter and salt.
Drew says, oh, tech emergency, time to go. Bye, Drew. Drew says, I still season like not a white person. Mediterranean screaming in the corner, we eat spicy, don't clump us in with you. Shiki says, I can't do cream corn. The texture makes me think I'm a baby bird and I don't want to be a baby bird.
Accurate, though.
Professor Pixelbit says, biggest realization is corn is a starch and not a veggie. Yes.
Huh? What? So it's never healthy?
It's corn. I mean, it's healthy as like a balance thing, but yeah, if you're like going to eat a big bowl of broccoli versus a big bowl of corn, the big bowl of broccoli is a lot better for you in a lot of ways.
Okay.
But it's corn. It's delicious. Yeah.
I much preferred the corn now over broccoli. I still like broccoli though, like a lot, which is another thing that like I didn't like before you, and now I like.
So, on Shiki's baby bird cream corn rant, G said, this is cursed and I am so upset we share the same brain cell because I will always think this. Stop. That Shiki said, I'm sorry, I'll take the brain cell while you eat it so you don't think of it. Professor Pixelbit says, gotta do the old school method, half a plate of veggies, quarter plate of starch, and quarter plate of meat. Yeah. I'm slowly moving this house in that direction. We're getting there. We're almost there. Just shh.
I'm right here. Like I'm like part of the people that in this house that have a problem with that. I'm not. I am an adult. I can handle variety
They tried to let you into kindergarten this morning.
Kindergarten. It was not kindergarten. It was elementary school. They probably thought I was a 5th grader.
I still think you should have just walked in. Like when they opened the door.
When are they gonna stop me? Yeah. No, because I had the hood on. I had this hood on, and I'm 4'9". So like.
So yeah, they opened the door.
The average size of a 5th grader, I guess.
Yes. Well, and we always talk about it like we're that weirdo couple that likes doing everything together.
And I also had my hair kind of like this because I just had the hood on, so like you couldn't see the green hair, just the hood.
Probably couldn't see the piercings
Nope.
from that angle.
So all he saw was a tiny bear, and he was like, "Oh, that's a child."
I let you into school, but like also like there's probably not a lot of parents that as a tandem like drop the kids off at school.
Yeah,
we're just that
I just
weirdo.
like hanging out with you guys.
I know. What's up, Shoes? Professor Pixelbit says no, corn is mostly filler food. Yeah. And Shiki said, I mean, isn't corn technically a grain?
That's what
Sam says, fuck off. Let me think corn is good.
It's the most aggressive I've ever heard Sam, I think. Over corn. This is interesting.
He says corn is delicious. Shiki says she's having kitty time. That's adorable. Professor Pixelbit says it was so hard getting my girlfriend and her kids to eat more vegetables. Shiki says you look like you're 12 sometimes. I'm not shocked.
Keyword there is sometimes. I'll take the sometimes.
Shiki says for him, he really likes corn. Sam says that's the most aggressive she's heard me.
I think so. In my head, it just sounded more aggressive.
Oh, there's been streams where, like, I've been saying things that everyone has been like, Jeff, you are being a colossal idiot right now, including Sam. It doesn't.
Yeah, that doesn't seem aggressive.
Oh, okay. She's asking for Shiki's expert opinion on something. Okay.
Okay.
I promised we would follow all the
Sorry,
death.
hold on. I don't want to cough into the microphone. Sorry.
I promised we would. Sam says he's rage quit streams before.
I love that for you because I wish I could do that. I don't think Jeff would let me. I was close a couple times with
When you're streaming by yourself.
Well, I probably no. I'm talking about for like I think Silent Hill 2, the remake, and maybe
There was definitely
Resident Evil.
My favorite was like so we just switched the Patreon over from we had it for the comic shop and we just switched it over to a Dork Duck one, so we grandfathered a lot of people in, right? And like there's again that running bit of just like how much Selena hates the minions for some reason. And so like one of the early things we started in the early days of the early days of Dork Duck, just like trying stuff on and seeing what was like, hey, what if Selena does a horror game every week, and what if patrons get to pick what that horror game is, which is like stuff other streamers do, right?
Yes.
There's a number of reasons why that's not a good fit for us that we all found out very quickly. But the first week, because the patron stuff was largely full of Rad Raptor people, they overwhelmingly went in and voted for her to play the one Minions game that they could find existed, which was this DS game.
Yep.
Which is funny. And also these are people that, you know, graciously give us a lot of money and stuff. So it's like I kept saying, like, Selena, you just gotta be a good sport and do it. It took a lot of work for me to set up emulating that game and
yeah, and it still was laggy and hard to control, and they would go backwards when I wanted them to go forwards,
and she did it, but about every 10 minutes she'd be like, sorry guys, I gotta go to a BRB screen, and then she would she'd walk into the other room and she'd be like, can I end? Can I stop now?
Can I be done? Please.
Like, no.
I would literally like beg. I'd be like, please, I will play another game. I'll do anything. I can't do this fucking game.
And I feel like it's Like, you just got to get through these 2 hours. Like, you just get to like one of the people that voted has literally given us people don't do this now, but like at the time we ran a lot of like save the store campaigns through Patreon and stuff when like we were going through the bankruptcy and stuff. So it was like there were people that were giving like hundreds of dollars to us still that hadn't shut that stuff off yet. And I'm like, do you think it's funny? They just want to watch you play this game. You need to go back in. And it was like on a Wednesday, so I could be like sitting in there with her. And so she'd be like, okay. And then she'd do the full Charlie Brown walk back. She'd walk back. And then she'd do about another 10 minutes. And then she'd be like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then go to BRB screen. And then she'd come out and be like, please, can I?
It was not a good system for someone with demand avoidance, and also I'm not good at. I think I could be good at solo streaming certain games, and like if I got a good groove going. I'm not good at streaming solo games that are ones that are that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Games where I need like help a lot.
Yeah, so anything with puzzles, which was like what was happening a lot with like
Fatal Frame. Yeah. It was also just like that controller kept like not working. The controller was a big problem, and part of it is like if everything worked seamlessly, I see a world where I would have pushed through. But my brain was like, well, this controller isn't working anyway, so why am I doing this?
Sam says I don't do it as much now, but I'm known to have a temper. Well, that shows growth, because I don't think either of us really realized that, because I don't think either of us would have clocked that. So
again, I thought you were being aggressive with the corn. So
I do remember you kind of quitting one stream, but I wasn't there for when it ended. So like, that's the only time that's happened in the course of like the last year of knowing you. Professor Pixelbit said some retro games got me close to that, but managed to power through. GU says, like Kitty Cuddle Time, how do I make Snake Cuddle Time without it sounding like an innuendo?
My brain didn't take it that way, but I understand how it would be taken that way now. Yeah.
And then there's conversation about whether or not snakes are scary, which is extra funny given that context. I will say I don't think actual snakes are scary. I understand that some people are scared of them, but given that context of, I do think dicks can be scary.
Oh my god!
When they show up in mailboxes, not asked for.
Inboxes, Jeff, not mailboxes. Jesus Christ.
That's scary.
That's really scary. Holy shit. No, I am 100% in that camp of like, again, as somebody who like loves spiders and has been around people that don't like spiders and will like squid. It was bad that one day I was at my grandma's and my sister and my grandpa, they didn't do it to like hurt my feelings or something. It was just like an automatic reaction, but there was a spider and they were like trying to get it, and I was like, just let me put it in a cup, like please don't kill it. And they were just like, and they were like running around trying to get it. I was like, I don't think you understand how much this is stressing me out. And like, it's like ultimately fine to have like that you don't prefer to be around the animal or bug or whatever thing, but like I wish people treated spiders and snakes and bugs and other
things that aren't traditionally cute, for lack of a better description.
Yeah, like I find all those things adorable, so I'm of that vein.
Sam says, I think games just break my will to live instead of making me mad now. I just feel crushed after a while of being stuck on a level or a boss. Yeah, I get that. Shiki's thinking about the snake cuddling. Professor Pixel Bit says, I'm with Lena. I hate minions. They're just safe racism for boomers. They definitely were for a minute. I don't know if they still occupy that space. Like, we had a theory on the show one day that
It's now Baby Yoda.
It's now Baby Yoda, yeah.
And I'm pissed about that because I like Baby Yoda and I don't want to be like lumped into the boomers that use Baby Yoda to be like shitty to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam said it's okay for people to find snakes scary and for them to be safe. Both can exist. Like, I'm terrified of spiders, but I know they are chill. Can't help how my brain reacts, but I am doing good at catching them and letting them go outside. Shiki says cats, dogs, horses, cows, turtles, and all other animals can also bite and kill you. It's okay to not be a fan of something, but the blanket hatred and fear of something is what leads to needless killing of said animals. Yeah. It's also, like, I think the unfortunate side effect of the pervasiveness of the character of Indiana Jones, which is, like, if you watch that actual first movie, it's a bit, right? It's that he does all of these, like, death-defying things one after another, and then a scene later he's freaking out because there's a snake in the plane, right? It's a really fun character moment that's a bit that then, you know, later on to save him and Marion, he has to navigate an entire room full of them, and that, you know, setting up for the character development and everything else. But that then, when that becomes such a widely stamped all over culture movie over the next 3 decades, then you get this thing of like, hey, part of demonstrative masculinity is you have to be super tough, except for around snakes. You can be like, oh no, snakes are gross and bad, which is very weird the way that our culture runs with things like that sometimes, but like it happens. It's very weird. Professor Bixelbit says, actually, sadly, my best boy snake accidentally bit me for the first time in his entire 15 years of life. He realized it was me and let go right away. Yeah, that happens with our cats too. Like, they'll get overwhelmed or they'll hit high emotions and they'll bite down in ways that, like, you could even see them immediately regret it.
Yeah, like they're similar with people. Like, sometimes people get overwhelmed and like will say something or like raise a voice or, you know, just show emotion in a way that could be perceived as negative. And it's like animals are the same way, like even snakes and
they get triggered and yeah.
bugs and spiders and
Mela says, I thought I've seen you stream by yourself. She definitely used to a ton, like,
yeah.
especially through COVID.
It's just like it's rough. I love spending time with you. I love being with you. I love like that we work together, but it's made it difficult to do things by myself because I get so used to that, like having you there.
Yeah.
That like it is a struggle to do things not with you there. Does that make sense? It's not an inherently bad thing. It's just like something that I've noticed about myself is like I can be independent. I just like it's hard for me to do both. I'm either like overtly clingy and like all the time or like I'm like I got to do this by myself.
Well, I also think there is like a nature where it's like I've said that like you and I together are an S tier streamer, but I think that like I can fudge my way through streaming independently because I'm a talker, but like your gameplay and like what you're doing and like I'm more like constructively funny. You're more organically
I just
funny.
breathe heavily when I'm by myself because I'm concentrating so hard. If I don't have another person like at me, it's like
yeah,
I'm into the game.
But you're a better game player than I am. I think your gameplay is fundamentally like more interesting and exciting to watch than mine is. And it's like I think in tandem we do pretty well. It's the problem is like we need to also work other jobs and do stuff, so it's like that doesn't always make sense. But the more and more we can get towards that thing, I would prefer not to spend any time apart, which probably makes me weird, but that's
I don't think it makes you weird. I don't like spending time apart from you either. It's like I think there's a world in which that's like not good for some people, like when they become too dependent. Like, again, I was just saying how, like, it's a little difficult for me to do things by myself, again, which is, like, when I worked a separate job and like did things separately, I could do things by myself and it wasn't a struggle. But it's like I'm back in that vein of like I struggle to even leave the house by myself now. But like I don't know if that's because we spend so much time together and that's what my brain is used to, or
Yeah.
because it's like of something else. So it's something that I'm like unraveling as a person and like figuring out over time.
Sorry. She said dicks can indeed be scary, and Drew said, hello again. Coming back to the phrase dicks can be scary is pretty great without context. Drew said, I got in trouble in chat because I didn't think, and I said I was typing with one hand because I had my snake in the other.
That is amazing. I seen that before you did, and I was waiting for you to get to that. Because I've been over here looking at the chat, but it's hard because like I'm waiting for you to get to where I'm at.
There is nothing better than that. Is like one of the funniest things is like when something just has like unintended, like terrible, like I will never
Back,
forget.
I have to pee.
You're gonna want to hear this story first.
Ugh, hurry!
My very first job, I was at the pizza barn, which is like a combination of everything. People would come and eat pizza.
Combination of a pizza and a barn.
No, it was like pizza place, but ice cream place in the back, and it was like
yeah.
where every.
Oh, we had that, the pizza box.
Okay, yeah, it's similar.
It's two different
similar joint, yeah.
Buildings put together. Ice
Yeah.
cream one side, pizza this side.
But like that's where like every baseball team, everything. So it's a lot of like typical pizza place shit, but also just like, hey, here's this giant group of kids or whatever. And I'm like this 14, 15-year-old kid, first job. And this girl who's like 9 or 10 walks up and like, so too young to like understand like anything of it. And like she's like, hey, can I get a refill? And I, reaching for the cup, I said, yeah, you just have to take your top off. Talking about the lid of the thing.
Oh, Jeff.
And I immediately catch what I said, but it's like it's a 10-year-old, so I have to pretend what I just said is completely normal.
Good God.
The entire group of people behind me,
you,
and it's like entraining me, basically.
Wait, how old were you?
I was like 14, 15.
Oh, okay.
Like not, but like
so you were old enough to like realize as soon as you said it, like, oh God.
Right, and I just meant the top to the
top to the pop, the lid, the lid. No, Patrick, the lid.
But you hear behind me that like immediately like that like stifled.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
And just like, and at this point, I finally grab the young girl's cup. But like my hand's like shaking as I like refill it and hand it back to her. And then we all run to the back. And then
that's so silly.
The like 40-year-old woman.
It's like, Jeffrey.
It's just like, Jeff just asked this 10-year-old girl to take her top off. Like, I didn't! I meant lit!
Okay. I have to pee now. I will return.
Drew says Minion memes are safe racism for boomers, but the movies are stupid, silly fun. Selena hates them. I just ordered a bunch of Minion Golden Books for the shop. I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a fun day unboxing those. G said also if someone mentions their pet and you say how scary you think that pet is, it makes us sad. That's fair. I also think it's probably coming from a place of like not meaning that. Mela says I understand, but I generalize and stay away from all snakes. Yeah. Yeah, that's a area of conversation where it's pretty easy to trip over stuff. Because again, it's like I think general culture is so quick to like be dismissive and call certain animals scary. And so in most social circles, like you'd be like, oh, I hate snakes. And everyone's like, yeah, I hate snakes too. And it's like, and you actually get like social currency from saying things like that. And you don't realize till you're around people that are like, hey, actually that doesn't feel great. That's a thing that is different. So, Drew says, I'm terrified of a much more reasonable creature, wasp. Yeah. G says, no joke, the amount I, as a person, would judge for owning a snake is wild, and they assume stuff of my character. Then Sweet Pea is the You're My Honey Bunch Sugar Plum song in living form. Yeah.
There's a fruit snack on the floor. What?
Fruit snack on the store.
On the floor, not on the store.
Professor Pixelbit says Nymph lock-in streams were very silent.
They were. It was a bad time. I mean, it wasn't a bad time, but it was like different. Different than having like someone at me talking so that I can not be completely.
If you watch the streams we do together, there's a lot of like, Jeff, shh. I'm like, what? No, that's what I'm here to do, though, is to talk.
That's what I'm here to do, is talk.
Drew says, Jeff, a talker, learning new things today. G says, Jeff, please do not miss the mistake I made in another chat. It will bring you so much. I think I got to it. If it was the holding the steak one, that was amazing. I'm just way behind on comments. I'm trying. Drew says, part of my phobia is that I've never been stung, so I'm absolutely terrified to find out if I am or am not allergic. Oh, yeah, because Shiki said, wasp, these creatures live to terrorize and cause pain. I'm also very allergic.
Can't tell the difference sometimes between wasps and bees, and I love bees, so I just kind of always assume they're all bees. There's this one time, I probably told this story before, that I worked at McDonald's, and I put a wasp in a cup because I thought it was a bee. And I posted it on Facebook, and I was like, look at my little bee friend, you guys. And they were like, and I was like 20 at the time. So, I mean, not that like age is a representation of I should be knowledgeable about wasps and bees, but you would think someone would have pointed the difference out to me before this fact or before this day. But like, no, I thought it was a bee, and I thought I was doing it a favor because it landed on the window, and I was like, oh, he's tired. So I put him in a cup. And then everyone was like, no, that's a wasp. Get rid of it.
Around the day we were redoing our floor, I also had to deal with, we had a wasp nest, like, basically right by our window out here. And then, like, they were basically just coming in the window because it was like they built so close to the window that they could just like sneak in basically.
Mm-hmm.
And we were Kim and I were like redoing the floors because obviously we were married then. It was like right when like the house was, and I will never forget this because it was like the wasps that were getting in were, by the time they got in here, were like so tired that they were like wearing themselves out and like mostly passing away. Like by the time we brought and I brought an exterminator out because I would handle it differently now, but that's how I handled it at the time, you know, like,
yeah,
you know, it's just like, I don't know, then call some guy. But like, as we were setting up to like do the floor, there was like 2 of them up there, and I like could tell they were like acting weird, like they were kind of dying, you know, and I was just like, and they were the wasps that like look more like bees.
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh, what, you should smash them. And I was like, I think they're good. I'm just going to leave them be.
Yeah.
And I've walked through this room about 17 times. They've stuck to the window. Like,
yeah, they're just tired.
They're just tired. It's fine. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm just like, well, I'm not sure about anything, but like, I've been in
I'm sure about anything.
I've been in this room. Like, it's fine. And so we're sitting there, and literally like 2 seconds later, this wasp who had been sitting there like forever just goes straight for her right on the neighborhood and just like stings her right there.
Oh,
and it was
God.
just, the timing was,
I would be livid. I would be like, you told me it was fine.
we didn't even have a chance for I told you so, because it happened as I was telling her it was fine. It was like the wasp heard it, and it was just like, it was like that the wasp read my energy and was just like, oh, this dude's cool. And then heard the conversation of her asking me to kill it.
And was like, hey. Hey now. That's not nice.
That is the only... I realize that's insane, but that's the only thing that makes that story make sense. Is that it was the timing was insane.
Yeah. Sorry.
She said I didn't think about it until after I hit enter. They didn't man me, thank God. Drew said, "Oh Jeff." I don't even know what I'm Jeffing at this point.
I'm pretty sure the
the pop top. We're there. Yeah, okay. Shiki said, I would have laughed so hard I would have almost peed if you said that in my chat to you. G said, to be fair, as a cis girl, it didn't exactly go through my head the way it would a dude. Yet. The pop top, not pop. Yeah, we call it pop up here. Pop. Drew says pop. The top of the pop to the top, the pop up. Shiki says, I hate the minions too. They annoy me to no end. G says it happens all the time about my specific snake, Jeff, all the time. Also, wasps can be evil. Wasps can be evil, but horseflies always are. Shiki says, luckily, an allergy typically starts around out mild and increases with additional exposure, so you would learn the first time and then adapt to be a little more avoidant. And oh god, horseflies, they're so mean. I haven't encountered them down here just yet. Sam says, bees are cute and chubby, wasps are angry and sharp hazard bugs. Yeah, there's a breed up here that looks dangerous, like they kind of look chubby. I don't know how else to describe it. They're the wasps that are obviously wasps, and then there are wasps that are like they're really good at looking like bees.
They're really good at looking like they're trying.
They're
trying to blend in.
I don't know how else to describe it. Shiki says wasps are aerodynamic pain missiles and bees are fluffier. Maybe that'll help. There again, I understand what you're saying. There is a breed of wasps up here at least that look almost identical to bees, but they are not bees, they are wasps.
Are you talking about this yellow jacket?
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure yellow jackets are wasps, right?
I think so. Drew says I can handle bumblebees because they're obviously not wasps, but honeybees give me a heart attack until I can force myself to calm down. Yeah, bumblebees are always like, they just seem like the big stoners of bugs to me for some reason. Like they're just vibing and looking for flowers and like you know when you meet like a big stoner dude, but like he's like a big teddy bear. Like you know those humans that you're just like, oh man, you obviously could hurt me, but like you would never hurt me. Like,
yeah,
it's the only way I can describe it. That's how I feel about bumblebees. They're great. Shiki said, aw to GU's horsefly allergy. Said I have a pretty big bee allergy, but localized swelling and headaches, not anaphylaxis, luckily. Drew said, wasps, I have to leave. Cannot do it. Shiki said, leave them be. GU says, mud daubers are nice. Mud dauber wasps have chill. The ones who cluster, though, wish pure death. Drew says, my flight or fright reaction to bees doesn't care about white nice wasps distinction. GU says mud daubers are black with long abdomens, and they're so evil looking but very friendly. One time I decided to go biking with a floral shirt on. I went by a bush. This was a mistake. Drew says bumbles are just adorable little fuzz butts.
They are. I love bumblebees.
Bumblebees and honeybees.
So I promised to follow up all the death with a cat story.
Okay.
So here's cat story.
Okay.
Adventurous Surrey cat earns its own rail card. Here is the cat in question. Kind of looks like Pete, but with socks. An adventurous cat who traveled by train from Surrey to London's Waterloo Station has earned itself a rail card. Tilly traveled 17.7 miles from her home in Weybridge and had to be collected by owner Michael Hardy. This is, by the way, Emily Sinclair writing at the BBC. Mr. Hardy told the BBC that he was shocked about the creation of a special rail card for Tilly, but that it really made my day. A spokesperson for South...
Ew.
Bless you.
Sorry. I tried to get away from the microphone.
A spokesperson for Southwestern Railway said, in case our whiskered wanderer is feline adventures again, we thought we would issue Tilly with her very own cat-to-go smart card.
Can the human use the smart card if they have the cat?
With free travel across our network for all of her 9 lives. She just has to remember to tap in.
That's so cute.
2-year-old Tilly was adopted by Mr. Hardy and his girlfriend after she was found as a stray.
Oh, it does look like Pete, or she does look like Pete.
Mr. Hardy explained how he had knocked on neighbors' doors and got a local vet to check her microchip, but in the end, the vet suggested they adopted Tilly. Mr. Hardy said Tilly was known for straying, having caught buses before, and even climbing behind the bar of his local pub. I love the idea of a cat just catching a bus.
Yeah.
Just be like,
oh, it's time to go. I'm almost late for my 5 o'clock meeting.
She now has an Apple AirTag attached to her collar, so she can be tracked by her owners. G says, Jeff, can I mention a death thing about who was mentioned? Sure. Drew said,
I read that gonna use 2 actions to stride twice away from the flying anger milkshakes. And I was like, what are we on now? Like, what?
Drew said,
What's a flying anger milkshake?
No, it's a D&D joke. It's pretty great. Drew said, no fight reaction, just flight twice. I ain't gonna punch bees. Gonna use 2 actions to stride to twice away from the flying anger missiles. I also like milkshakes. But yeah, missiles. I think I missed up there. Professor Pixelbits was talking about, I'm an educator and I show animals at places, mostly schools and such, to kids. In America, it's a tradition to have some random guy come to your school and put a snake on you. It is. It's pretty great. I
held a
wondered who had those jobs.
I held a big yellow, like, it's not a boa constrictor, or maybe it was. I don't know. It was a very large yellow and kind of orange, but kind of yellow snake. And it was at daycare. There's a picture of me holding it and being like, oh my God. Like, you can tell I'm just like losing my shit. I'm so happy.
GU says, it's interesting because the other 2 died of something killing me. Those are my terminal illnesses, kidney and liver issues, but I'm glad they listed those as their causes of death and not the symptoms. It's important, and I'm glad they enjoyed their lives. Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's a good reminder. Someone else pointed this out as like the 17th, Michelle Trachtenberg edit was going across my TikTok, and all these people saying how important she was to them, and like how much her movies meant to them. Like, she can't hear any of that, which is not to say don't make that, but also maybe we should be pouring that energy into humans while they're here. And that's maybe important to think of, just like the type of energy we pour in after someone's gone, like to try to...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you were saying. I was like, yeah, no, just like make sure that those around you feel appreciated while they're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, being a child star is hard, and it's like she was obviously going through like crazy health stuff, and it's like the first article I read like cited like her recent Instagram stuff and like how much people in the comments were like, you don't look good, because she was just like going through something, needed a liver transplant, like she wasn't healthy, but like it's always, especially a woman in celebrity culture, there's a lot of that kind of stuff going around, and it probably would have meant a lot to her if she could see even a quarter of this coming at her in the days leading up to her not being around anymore. So, G says, and I want to bring awareness before I'm a post someday too. Sorry for heavy.
Come here.
Yeah, that's not something you have to apologize for.
Come here, Bug.
This is a space where we try to acknowledge those things. G says the assumption is always drugs. Yeah. Unfortunately. G says even I get that and I've never smoked or done drugs. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, people, we don't know what people are going through. Hey, also on our Discord, there's a section to submit news stories. This one was submitted by Drew. Although, this is a different article talking about the same thing, but like had like further development stuff with it that has people we know being cited in it. Cheeky says gestures to Chadwick Boseman. Yeah. It was a similar thing where it was like everyone was like, "What? He's going through drugs, getting so thin," and then it was like, "Oh, he was not doing well."
My child, come here. Don't wake P up. He's not going to be happy if you wake him up. You know that. I know that. We both know that, Bug. You can still lay on the bed. He's like, maybe I won't.
Shiki says he was such a loving human and people were so nasty to him. Yeah. Jesus is my last PSA is I hear this a lot and they all do too. You have such a positive outlook. Yeah, we're dying. We know it. Enjoy what we can. That's where it comes from, knowing that. Also, how about cats? Am I right? Yes. But yeah, no, it's like here's the trick though. We're all dying. And we all should treat and embrace life that way. And we all should like engage with our mortality. I had a weird thing when I lost all the Jesus stuff where like I had to face my mortality for the first time because when I was a kid, I was like, what happens when I die? And it's like, well, if you say this one prayer, then you get to go live in a mansion with all your friends and family and the streets are gold. Like, why are the streets gold? I don't know. It's in a book. It's like, okay, cool. Sounds great. I'm never going to worry about death now. Da, 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 da. And then I was like in my late teens, early 20s going like, I don't know that I believe in this stuff. And then suddenly the second blow from that was just like, oh shit, I'm going to die. And I had to face my mortality for the first time, and which was crazy. The good thing that came out of that, though, is I find religious or non-religious, universally, I feel like most people I engage with have not faced their mortality and just live in this bubble of just like, I'm going to live forever, and everyone I love is also going to live forever, and that's every pet I love is also going to live forever. And I'm like, that's not how it... I'm like, okay, all right.
I feel like sometimes you think that I live in that bubble, and it's not even that I'm choosing to live in that bubble. I've just been forced into that bubble for some reason, and like I can't get out of that bubble. And like every time I think about death or dying or my mortality, I start having a panic attack and like spiraling. So... which I like recognize isn't the healthy reaction, but it's just kind of where I am at. I went from being very like, I don't even know that it was accepting of death, of more so that I was just disassociated to it, because I've experienced a lot of it, and now I'm just kind of like, every time I think about it.
Drew says cats are pretty fucking great. I love them. Shiki said, did I ever tell you about the thing a previous coworker's parents told her would happen if she was a good Christian? No, I need to know. G says, jokes aside, I think people don't get how deadly kidney disease is, and I'm glad when people do because people hear I have kidney disease and don't get it. Yeah, I think my mom for the past, like until she retired like a few years ago, and it started around the time I was like 14, 15, somewhere there. She was a dialysis nurse, so I just knew of that as a thing that existed. And that was, I think, a really hard job, because when she was an ER nurse, she would meet a lot of people passing through, and some people would die, and some people, but it was a very different thing.
Was that Buck?
I don't know. It was a very different thing from, hey, this is Jeremy, and he shows up every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday until he doesn't. Right? Like, that being a dialysis nurse was a hard gig. It's kidney disease, pretty serious. One of my favorite localish people around here that does what I do with comics used to own a store. Now he just vends, but like has gone through like lots of kidney stuff over the past basically the entire time I've known him, and it was crazy because I didn't see him much for like a year or two. Then he got a transplant, and the thing I didn't realize is they left the kidney, but like they left all the kidneys in, so he's got 3 kidneys now. And every time, that was one of the weirdest conversations I've ever found. That I was like, "What do you mean you have 3 kidneys now?" And he's like, "Well, the one that like wasn't doing its job is still like kind of doing a job, and it's not doing any harm. So it's like they left it in there." It's like, "But you have 3 kidneys now?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Whoa." Oh, the Shiki's. Okay, I need to know what Shiki's coworker was told if she was a good Christian. They said she would be one of Jesus's wives. She would get to have sex with Jesus for being a good Christian. I thought she was joking when she told me. She was 100% serious.
Oh, why would you tell her mom told her that?
Her parents did. I don't.
Why is that even okay? I don't have words for that.
I do, but I shouldn't say them.
Fair enough. That's wild.
Did not gonna make a joke about hearing.
Yeah, let's roll it back and think about what we're about to say before it leaves our mouth.
It's right there, though.
I know, but you can tell me later if you find
Can I write it down?
Oh my god!
I need to write it down at least.
Mm.
You have to be in my brain right now. It's such a good place.
You're so aggressively like scrawling. Bro. Oh my
god. Giu says, yeah, fun fact, that's why people think kidneys are lower than they are. They're in the rib cage, but everyone thinks they're lower because the transplants are lower.
They would like you to put it in Discord, the joke, by the way. I fully support that, because at least it's not in a chat where someone can I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
I love that you said, Jeff, as a fellow low empathy person, it's not worth it. And then said, Jeff, I lied. It's worth it.
Oh my god.
You want to take a picture and post it in the Discord?
Okay, it's gonna be.
Just post it with 0 context. That's the best.
Where should I post it? In what?
Just in the general. Just
Okay.
Put there.
Okay.
No context.
Okay.
Post it.
Okay.
Juice says I'm crazy active in a lot of church deconstruction spaces.
It looks like you wrote honk, not the word that you meant to write, but it's fine.
Shiki says frame the post-it. Juice says put it up in the shop. Okay. Comic book writer says unfinished Wonder Woman game was gorgeous and expansive. This is from Ethan Gotch at Kotaku, who says the sudden closure of Monolith Productions and the cancellation of its Wonder Woman game has many scratching their heads. Could it really have been that far off from releasing? Was it really going to cost that much to take it the rest of the way over the finish line? Answers to those questions may come in time, but some of those who worked on the game said it was shaping up to be something special. The game was gorgeous and expansive, said comic book writer Gail Simone, writing about the unreleased action adventure game, first announced back in 2021. It was beautiful to look at. I'm not going to give details for a number of reasons, but every effort was made to make this not just a great game, but a great Wonder Woman game, a showpiece epic. Simone is best known for her past runs on DC Comics Secret 6, Birds of Prey, Batgirl, and of course Wonder Woman. If Gail Simone was involved in the story of this thing, fucking sucks, man. Like, she's currently writing the latest Uncanny X-Men reboot and says she was doing long-term consulting on Monolith's game, a dream come true in part because of how much she loved the studio's Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor games. Everyone who worked on it brought their A-game, Simone continued. He said the team was also dedicated to making sure Wonder Woman was lore accurate in every way. I know there's a lot of finger-pointing going on, but everyone I worked with from Monolith and WB both was enthusiastic and supportive. Shiki says, you should hang that post-it up.
Get a nice little frame for it.
One of the game's developers was similarly optimistic, and the Monolith Discord don't listen to anything anyone said about the project stalling or failing. They wrote, it's going to be absolutely killer. Bloomberg reported that the project underwent a reboot early last year, switched directors, and may have still been years away from shipping despite already costing $100 million. I know every dev will say this about something they worked on, but it was going to be amazing. The developer told Monolith fans, I'm not allowed to say much, but I can at least say that every single person was pouring their... This is my thing. If you're gonna cancel projects, people should be able to say whatever the fuck they want after the fact. Like that's... And all NDAs should cease. If something's never going to be released, you should be able to be like, hey, and it was going to have this in it and this in it. This is stupid. She says it's not that bad. It's a compliment.
I've let it simmer. It isn't that bad, but I never know with Jeff because sometimes he'll just say things.
It is, from someone who grew up in those circles, it is bad if you are still in that bubble. Because...
But if you're not in that bubble, it's not.
If you're not in that bubble, it's not.
Okay.
Shiki says they sell 3x3 frames at most places that sell wall frames. Right.
We gotta look into it.
That's amazing. Shiki says he definitely does say things.
Yes.
Jesus, Jeff, I am so bad. Why are we bad?
What did I do?
I'm
falling.
I now have a joke I want to say as a low empathy person. Thank you, though, by the way, Gio, for like sending me down that rabbit hole of the different types of empathy and how they cocktail in different people. I am still in like a hyper research phase of that before I'm like willing to like get on a microphone and be like, and I'm this. But man, was that like a glass breaking moment of just like, oh, there are different kinds of empathy, and I can be low in one and have the other. And the amount of times I've had to live with like people starting a lot of sentences of like, Jeff, I don't think you're a sociopath, but and it's nice to like be like, oh, okay, no, there's just different types of empathy, and like you can struggle with one, have the other, and all of them can be learned to some degree too, which is like neat. Jesus would probably be great at consent. I could keep it. Here's the thing. There's a lot of feet shit going on in that. There's a lot of washing of feet.
Okay, I was so confused. I thought you're just like, here's the thing, and I was like, are we still talking about Jesus, or are we on to another tangent? And then, yeah.
I think your average foot fetishes, which I'm running along with the hypothesis that Jesus might be among them, right?
Sure.
Because there's so much feet washing.
He likes to wash feet.
Well, man, does he like to wash some feet?
Do you know how scary that would be in the times of like for me? I mean, because like, okay, so say like Jesus comes to your town.
Yeah.
And you're like, shit, Jesus is in my town. Like, he's great. He's awesome. He's going to save us all. And then he's going to wash my feet because like, and that's like a blessing, basically. I would accidentally kick that man in the face so hard if he touched my feet, and I would feel so bad. So bad, because like, that's like Jesus touching your feet, and he's not exempt from that. No one can touch my feet.
Sam says, oof, we got our first YouTube doc spot. What's a doc spot? Shiki said, oh, I've been there many times too. You're probably not a sociopath, but everything is my fault. It's okay. Yeah, I feel that. G says, no, Jeff, toxins come out of your feet. That's why you wear an onion sock. Didn't you watch TikTok? I did not. I'm sorry.
What about onion socks?
I don't know what onion socks are.
You put onions in your socks?
No,
Is that a thing that people can do? I mean, you can. Anybody can do that.
But that's.
I thought you were reaching. You went like this. I was like, what?
No, but that's what I'm saying though. With like, you're like, feet, like it's like I think that there are some like just straight up creepy people into feet, right? But there are
what?
But feet people end up having to practice consent more because like their thing is so.
Jeff, don't shame.
I'm not shaming at all. I'm saying they have more experience being rejected than the average person, so they have to practice consent, and therefore, if Jesus was like.
That's like a very deep
in this essay.
Layered.
In this essay, I will demonstrate how Jesus, due to his feet fetish, was really good at consent. Is what I was getting around to.
Okay, sorry, I was really confused. I was like, okay.
Drew says pseudoscience is just a smaller science, right? Like a pseudo dragon. G says you just put an onion in your sock. It doesn't work. It's pseudoscience nonsense. Proponents of this remedy claim that placing an onion in your sock can absorb toxins and bacteria, improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and treat colds and flu. What?
I'd rather just suffer than have onions in my socks.
However, there's no scientific evidence to support these claims. Studies have shown that onions do not have the ability to absorb toxins or kill bacteria.
Yeah, you're just going to have onions in your socks.
So weird.
I love onions. I would never put them in my socks.
The basis is the onions rot. Oh, so when the onions rot, they're like, look how much it absorbed. Yeah,
because you're sweating on a fucking onion on your feet.
Right.
Bestie?
Yeah, but you could see how that could be in a like a pre Great Enlightenment. That would be something that people would be in some areas of the globe that would start out at like, oh yeah, look, I put the onion in and it rots.
I understand, but also I do not love that.
Professor Pixelbit says no toxins in my body, but now I got onion feet. What?
Just you and your messing up of the words. It just made me giggle.
Did
You
I
said
mess it-
professor.
Oh my god. Jeeve says it's white women on TikTok, Jeff. Sorry. Okay. I tried to give it the more like obviously
They suggest doing it with potatoes too. That's a waste of potato. Eat that potato. Don't put it in your shoes or in your socks or feet.
It's really funny. Eat it. Don't.
Drew says another nude's food crumbs create mice.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do. They
seems
just
like
spawn.
a bad plan all around.
They just spawn. The mice appear from the food crumbs. They didn't exist before.
Have you ever gone back and seen like not seen obviously because you can't watch them or anything, but like those early scientific experiments where like the guy's trying to desperately prove that maggots turn into flies, and everyone's like, no, meat turns into flies. Or no, meat turns into maggots. And he's like, no, they're baby flies. And they're like, nope. So
I'm not gonna lie, when I was like younger I thought that because I just thought that like meat, like I didn't understand how, and I was very young, like I didn't understand how meat like attracted the maggots in the first place. I'm like, where did they come from? Well, they came from the flies. The flies had the babies onto the rotting meat.
Yeah.
But my brain was like, were they in the meat the whole time? Were they living in the meat? Like it was really stressful.
So he had to set meat out and then set other meat out that was covered up and be like, see, the covered up meat didn't turn into maggots, but the maggots are only on the meat that the flies could get to. And they were like, you're a witch. You need to stop talking.
Maggots are meat babies.
The show is so educational. Professor Pixel Bits
Professor.
So they also thought if you put a pile of straw in a corner, it would make a mouse.
So yeah, it's a spawn point for a mouse. It's what you have to put in your yeah.
Kiki says if people didn't think that cleaning yourself was witchcraft, the bubonic plague wouldn't have happened. Yeah. Just call me Prof Man. Yeah. Prof Man. Sam says BRB, I'm going to summon mice. Shiki's right though. It's crazy too to like read those like accounts of them like going into doctors being like, hey, you need to wash your hands. Look at these statistics of surgeons that wash their hands before and surgeons that don't, and how many like more patients die when the surgeons don't wash their hands. And like so many of those surgeons were like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, what?
So like there was a time in which there was doctors that performed surgery who did not believe in washing their hands. And they were trying to convince them the relationship between washing their hands and keeping their patients healthy and alive.
Oh.
And you can read accounts of them going around. That was like when like everyone like during COVID was like, why are people reacting this way? It's like historically people always do. Like none of this is new. If you paid attention, we're going backwards on a lot of stuff. It's like I love the guy who like literally flew the flat earther to the where he could see the globe. He's like, all right, buddy, let's go. Prof Man says, LOL, the idea of spraying antiseptic was crazy for a while. Germ theory was hard to get people into, and sadly, more people are going back to not believing it. Yeah. James Barry, and I had a low empathy joke to that, but it seems mean. Sam says, I mean, we're literally living through that again. Yeah.
This is completely unrelated.
Oh, Gina says we wash our hands in surgery due to a trans guy, James Barry. Oh, that's awesome. Professor Pixelbit says, sorry, I meant just Prof, comma man, as in you. No, you're Prof Man now. I'm sorry.
That's what I thought. And I was like, he's completely misreading that, but I'm just going to let it go for as long as it can, honestly. Yes, it's an Ankysaurus.
Where is their ankle?
Right there.
Oh, here.
My youngest kid constantly corrects me in pronunciation of an ankylosaurus. She's like, it's an ankylosaurus. And I'm like, okay, but I'm still going to call it an ankysaurus.
Sam says they're my favorite dino.
Mine too.
Cheeky says, so this is where I suggest people watch or read the Outlander series. It's such a fun historical fiction, and it follows a female doctor fighting male doctors who have their beliefs and thought women are just hysterical and she was making shit up / a witch when she suggested medical things. Also, you missed the onion bubonic plague fact. I
Gosh,
did.
Jeff.
I'm trying.
Well, try harder. Try or do. There is no try.
Yeah.
Whatever the saying is. Do or do not. There is no try. That's what I meant. I couldn't word.
G says the idea of, in quotes, the idea of putting onions in your socks to treat colds and the flu originated in the 1500s during the bubonic plague. It's based on the belief that onions could protect people from airborne illnesses. Yeah, that didn't work.
No.
He says, yeah, I was going to tell you they just met prof, but it was funnier to hear you say it wrong. And we love Yankees in this house. She says, try or do. There is no try. Is that what you said?
Yeah. I have no excuse this morning. I'm not tired.
At some point, we will do a Selena Star Wars watch through.
No, we won't. Why are you just saying this like you're not even asking me if I want to do it? We're just going to do it. I watched The Mandalorian.
Okay. So there are so many people, even people in this chat, that are like Star Wars fans, right?
Yeah, that's fine. I love it for them. Love
Right.
that for you.
But you have the same relationship with Star Wars that you have with sports. Okay, bring the breathing down. Bring the breathing down.
I have tried to watch Star Wars. I've watched it. Like, I've been in a room. It's on the TV. I'm looking at the TV.
I think people would be, and even if it's like your reaction every time is like, oh man, I hate it. I think people would be interested to hear your reactions to like the Star Wars stuff, that at least like the original like 6 set of films or whatever. As someone who's just like, it's been, you know, some of it through osmosis, right? Like, you know who Yoda is.
Yeah.
But like, you don't know who Yoda is.
Yeah.
Like, what can you tell me about Yoda?
He's a baby. And Pedro Pascal is his father. That's it.
Perfect, nailed it.
Yep.
Sam says, Lena, start with The Mandalorian. Disney has made too much lore. Just pick wherever you want to jump in. Don't let anyone gatekeep it. I'm not gatekeeping anything. I'm just
You're
saying,
like the opposite of gatekeeping. You're like, you're gonna watch this now. Well, not now, but
I just think that's it's people that make content. I think if we never make that content, that would be crazy, because I think so many people would be interested to hear you go like, so what? This is this movie that like everyone.
Can I smoke weed before?
100%.
Okay.
After, during, throughout.
Great.
I'll get you good snacks.
Okay.
Giu says, I also don't like Star Wars, Lena. Thank you for the clip, Shiki. Drew says, please invite me to the Lena Star Wars watch party. Jesus, for the record, the onion thing was in between plagues. So salad, not a success. Drew says sports are useless. Star Wars is forever. Drew says all Star Wars is good Star Wars, and I will fist fight Jeff on this. I'm one of those like, hey, 4, 5, and 6 are great. and then after 4, 5, and 6, which were 1, 2, and 3, everything else is like varying levels of good. But probably all of Star Wars would be better if they just made 4, 5, and 6 and stopped. That is my opinion that most of the internet does not share with me. So
Yeah.
Biggie says, honestly, Lena, The Mandalorian and the first 6 movies are entertaining, and you'll have memes for years to come. It's not the best series ever by any means, but it's fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch through it. I've been excited. I just don't. I need to in the same breath that I hate being forced to watch things. Sometimes people just need to sit me down and be like, "Watch this."
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, there's also I've discovered a whole swath of things that Lena has seen, but it's like been like I've been in the room while that's been on and had that teenage cold shoulder to it, and my entire relationship for the rest of the time is defined by that till Jeff makes me watch it, and then I go like, "Oh, that's a really good movie." But we all have to navigate that. Drew says, Jeff, you gatekeep things by telling them to watch and then giving nothing but cutting remarks the entire time. Telling them to watch and then... When have I given cutting remarks the entire time? Profman says, try to find an original version of New Hope. Those effects did not age. Yeah, I like the original versions. Like the Force, I'm with you. Shiki says, an outside of the Star Wars fandom person, the other movies were fun, but I think the 6 movies in Mandalorian are enough to get references. Yeah.
Tired.
We're about to wrap up. I'm just trying to catch up with chat.
I became less awake. I need to take my meds, and I just
I need to take mine too.
Morning. Actually, I think I have some in my pocket.
Profman says media forgot scarcity creates value. I agree 100%. And when you spew out a movie/show each year, you're gonna make a bunch of crap just to make it. Yeah. Less is more. And things get less special the more that's made of it too. But that's the era we're living through right now. Is everything is more. We have to have more of it. More content.
Consume.
Sam says Clone Wars became my favorite art of all the Star Wars media, I think. And I don't know how the word art got in that message. Shiki said, oh yeah, I have this whole black hole of time where I consume so much media because I was trying to escape my horrible situation. I don't know what happened in all of those things. I'm rewatching and realizing I don't remember any of it. Yeah. Giu says, update, Pokemon is making motorcycles based on Pokemon and I want them. You want a Pokemon-based motorcycle?
I can't drive a motorcycle. I would be too afraid.
True says response, fuck me silly. I need to make some bad financial decisions. Cheeky says, quick everyone, take his credit cards away. Giu says Honda is making Oraiden and Toyota is making Miradon. And Drew says, I'm in trouble. One of my favorite Drew stories is like going to New York Comic Con with him, which is a most cons are 2 days, some are 3. New York Comic Con is a marathon. That thing is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a lot of con, right? And the first day we were there and looking at stuff, Drew was like, I think I'm gonna buy a lightsaber. And we're like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's like I think a couple of us poked him in the like, hey man, you might want to wait till the last day of the con to make like the massive purchases, just to. He's like, okay. And then day 2, we bought a lightsaber. I think it was day 2, day 1 or 2. And then it was like the rest of the week, the con, it was like, it was like Drew had to like navigate, being in New York City, having already bought the expensive lightsaber. And it was like...
That would be me, though. I would get the first thing that I see that I want and be like, yes, give me. And then the rest of the trip be like, crap.
Drew says day 1 I bought a lightsaber. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was day 1. Yeah. It was like one of those things. Had it been 6 months earlier, I would have been in a position where I'd be like, here, Drew, here's a bunch, like, we never get to hang out. Here's a bunch of buddies. You can do all the fun things. And I was not in that space.
So fun story about how I am better with money now, but was not good with money like 4 or 5 years ago. My first C2, E2 that I went to, I actually like put myself in credit card debt trying to like, because I did that thing. I got a bunch of stuff the first day. Yeah. And then I was like, I want more stuff. And then I did the thing where I used my credit card, which was only for certain things that weren't that. And I used it for fun purchases like stuffed animals and comics and things. And is not... It was nice at the time. Like my brain chemicals were like, yes, this is dopamine. This is good. But then later was like, oh no, what have you done?
Yeah.
But I have stuff.
Yeah.
I got my trinkets, so that's nice.
Drew says, and I regret it not at all. In my defense, it's a lightsaber. Also had enough money to buy all the food I wanted, and that was the only thing I really wanted out of New York City.
I bet the food is amazing.
Oh, I still think about that ramen. We need to get there.
You still talk about that ramen, and I'm just like, thanks for not taking me.
Drew, we
were together.
We had it was like right on that bubble where like, again, 6 months later, it would have made complete sense for you to come with. 6 months earlier.
You were calling me literally every like morning and night of that trip. I could have went. It was fine.
True says, I still talk about that ramen. Like ramen is ruined for me because of New York City. Cheeky says my burn on my arm is now heart-shaped. That's cool. GU says so. And
so
how'd you burn your arm? No, that was Drew that said that. Okay. You guys keep talking about heartburn. Heartburn. I'm gonna work towards wrapping up here. One, YouTube. Please, if you can, go take a look at that YouTube channel. We're really close to 50 subscribers, putting a lot of work into it. I cut up hours and hours of gameplay into short little like fun, sit and eat a sandwich and watch just the highlights videos. Putting up right now Selena's first Resident Evil 8 playthrough. Please go check that out. We're putting a ton of work into it. Also, no one has to ever give us money, but if you want to give us money, Patreon is just $5 a month, and you get a lot of extra special stuff, including stickers and other such shenanigans. Stu says, I may have bought a replica cane from Assassin's Creed with like 2 blades in it for full price on impulse once. Also, I haven't eaten yet. I feel like Shikuya. I will wrap up so we can eat. Shiki said on the oven door, I kept the door a little too high up because Luna was running around and I hit my arm on the door. It was at 425. Ugh.
Ouchies.
I early, that same first job at the pizza place, I was like cleaning the bottom of the pizza oven and like doing like where you scrape it out at the end of the night. And it was like a 700-degree pizza oven. And I accidentally touched my fingertips to the bottom of the pizza oven. Which kind of hurt, right? Hot oven, fingertips, right? The problem was I then went like, oh, that kind of hurts. Threw my arm up and threw my arm into the top of the pizza oven.
Oh, God.
And it seared my arm and instantly blistered, broke, seared. It was bad. And I still have a scar there to this day.
Jesus.
It's that one hurt. It wasn't as cool as like being in a heart though. She says, which reminds me, Shiki said to me before I got my official diagnosis, have you considered seeing a therapist for sociopaths? I know you're not a sociopath, but I went, oh, and something clicked. Yeah, some of us just like have some empathy gaps. It's okay. It's all right.
That reminds me, I need to make appointments for therapy.
Yes.
I finally got insurance again, which is not great, but it's better than none.
It's there. Drew says, man, my best burn story is the time I blistered my ears at the beach. I'm still feeling outplayed here.
Oh, that sounds miserable.
Yeah. As a reminder, on Monday, no Final Fantasy stream, but we'll still do Dork Duck Daily.
Jeff loves me and is taking me for
Birthday shenanigans.
Food and
possibly ramen.
Barnes and Noble. And maybe other shenanigans. On
March 4th, which is Tuesday, we will do a Dork Duck Daily in the morning, and then Tuesday night, we'll do a combination Selena's birthday / Dork Duck 1 year celebration stream thing. And it'll be fun times. I don't know exactly what we're doing yet. I know it won't be Minions related, but that joke will probably be thrown out a couple times. But G says, how goes Resident Evil? Pretty good. We'll play it again tonight from 8 to midnight. Where'd we get to last week? I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember.
Oh, we're right in the middle of the castle. So, like we just of the 4 people in that castle, there are 3 left currently. So, so we'll be doing that tonight. We have raid messages. They look like this. Using global emote. If you're subscribed to us, you can use Mike's pretty emotes there. And let's see who we can bug. Yes, thank you, Shiki, for being awesome. Thank you for being awesome to GU.
Yeah, thank you.
We love you both, Shiki and GU. We're gonna...
I thought I saw Vince was online.
Is he?
That's what I thought.
He is. We're gonna go raid Vince. Holy shit. This is very Sam coded to raid into a best friend who's not using a mic. But this is usually Vince has a mic on, but he doesn't right now because probably because his kids are around or up. But this is my longest running best friend in the universe. Vince, we're gonna raid him. Literally grew up across the street from each other, and now we, work in comic shops in different parts of the state, but love each other dearly. So we're gonna go. He said, "Could I make a suggestion?" Oh, never mind. I know where we're going. Yeah, sorry. All right, we are heading over that way. Love you all. Be honest.
Have a good day.
Be kind. Be useful. Live a good fucking life. We'll see you tonight for more Resident Evil streaming.
Yay.
All right.
Bye. Okay, bye.